Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Fuel for Thought podcast. Today, we are reviewing a messy Qatar Grand Prix. A bit of a controversial one, but not because of the drivers this time.
No, mainly FIA, right?
Yes. Yes. What a mess.
Yeah, very true. Sprint weekend, though.
Sprint weekend. I thought the sprint would be a little bit of a spoiler for the race, but alas, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Well, yeah, Red Bull were nowhere in the sprint. But they obviously changed their car. I was actually trying to think. I should have actually looked back, but I think the formatting of the sprint weekends has changed since either the last year or the year before. Where obviously I know it changed. It's
changed a few times.
Yeah, but did they used to do sprint qualifying on a Friday, qualifying for the race on a Saturday morning, and then the sprint after the qualifying for the race? Because in my head, I feel like that's what used to happen. I could be wrong, but now in my head they've swapped it around, so then they can change the car and come out of Parc Fermé before qualifying. So
I thought they'd always, in a sprint weekend, they always did normal qualifying on a Friday. Because it used to be normal qualifying on a Friday, sprint on a Saturday, and then that would determine the race order. So I think it's always been on a Friday.
Yeah, but normal qualifying isn't on Friday, is it?
Yeah, isn't it? Oh, it's not now. No,
it's
you're right. Sprint qualifying's on a Friday.
Yeah, so they do.
So they have changed it.
Yeah, so they do the sprint. I knew something was different because I didn't think that they could change the car previously between the sprint and the race. But obviously this year, I've only just clocked that obviously they can change the car between the sprint race and qualifying.
It's probably because there may have been complaints by there only being one practice session. Like they get rid of FP1.
No, they keep FP1. They get rid of all of the others.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they kind of take what they learn from the sprint.
Yeah.
And apply it to the race. So at least then they're not going in completely guessing.
Which does make sense.
It does, but also it's kind of fun when teams have to use.
Yeah. And also I feel like that kind of, it is more fun when they have to, I don't know.
But I suppose like for the competitiveness of the sport, it does make sense.
Yeah, and less of a spoiler. I feel like that's, the sprint can be less of a spoiler because they can like make changes to their car, which Red Bull did between the sprint and the race.
I'm still not completely sold on the sprint format.
No.
It still just feels a bit janky, a bit messy.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like it's solid in its place in the calendar.
Yeah, agreed. I've said this before, but I preferred it when the sprint race qualifies for the actual race.
Yeah, there's downsides to both ways, I guess.
What do you think about a reverse grid?
Yeah, but then
they do in F2.
I don't know. I think then that just like ruins the integrity of the whole.
Yeah, I guess
championship.
It's different, isn't it? Because F2 they all have the same car, whereas in F1 they don't. So it's just.
Yeah, but if you qualify first on merit, and that means you have to start further back, and then people get points for doing badly, or like people get rewarded for not necessarily doing as well.
Yeah,
and it's like it opens a whole can of worms. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it interesting. I think in F2 they qualify, and then whoever qualifies on pole starts on pole in the race, but starts in 10th for the sprint race. So I think that one qualifying is for both.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, that does make sense, but then don't give points for the sprint race.
But then what's the point in the sprint race?
Well, yeah, but then what's the point anyway?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thought.
Because that format is just like, it's removed of any competitive...
Yeah. Because I used to think they were separate qualifyings for F2, and I was like, why would someone want to qualify on pole if they're just going to go back to P10? But then obviously for the race they start on pole. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do change the format of the sprint weekends again.
Yeah.
Or whether they just scrap them completely.
Nah, they've already determined.
Yeah, it's more for the fans. Like there's more.
Well, yeah, that's the whole reason they brought it in
for the weekend. But yeah, I think there does need to be some changes to make it a bit more exciting.
I think if the drivers had their way, they wouldn't have them at all.
Yeah.
But it's for the spectatorship.
Exactly.
And bringing more viewership on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think there's two things to mention from the sprint in Qatar.
Okay.
The first one is Sergio Perez.
His start
Yes.
or lack of start.
Lack of start. So I think what they did is they took Perez out of Parc Ferme to lower the car to see how that
Yeah, they
worked
changed
in the
parts
race.
that they-
In the sprint race to see whether that would benefit Max
Yeah.
to do between sprint and qualifying. And so obviously he started from the pit lane. So did Colapinto. Mm-hmm. Perez saw the green light.
Went green, just like, yeah. Colapinto was like, we're going. Like,
Yeah, what on earth was that? I saw a clip of Christian Horner being interviewed about it, and they were like, "What happened with Perez?" And he was like, I don't know. Gonna have to speak to him about that."
Yeah, it's just it's a tragic mistake to make on top of all the other ones he's made
Yeah.
and all the other poor performances. It just adds and builds to his resume of an awful season so far.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh, come on, man. Like, you can't be doing this. And it's just, I guess maybe it's the pressure or when it's not your day, these things just keep happening.
Yeah.
And it's not been his year. So.
It hasn't been. I heard Ted Kravitz said that Christian said that it's Perez's choice now whether he wants to remain with the team after Abu Dhabi, which implies that Christian is taken out of his own hands and letting Perez decide whether he wants to leave on his own terms or not, basically.
I have a theory. So the rumor is he's going to be out of the car, and I think he's being pressured to leave off of his own accord, so the optics are good for the fans. Mm-hmm. But because he brings in so much money and so many sponsors and so many Mexican fans and South American fans who will spend a lot of money on Red Bull merch and etc. etc. The rumor is they're going to make him an ambassador at Red Bull
Okay.
after being there for what, like
3 years?
4 years?
Yeah, 3-4 years.
You know, it wouldn't usually warrant being an ambassador for a team that you've only been at for 3 or 4 years and hadn't done too much. Like, yes,
Yeah.
you've supported Max well in a couple of seasons to get him his championships, get the constructors, but 2 bad years as well. On top of that,
Yeah.
like it's all money. Cash is king. In
So
F1.
he'll come out as a driver but still be an ambassador.
Yes.
Interesting tactic there from
So
Red
he'll probably
Bull.
still get paid as well.
Yeah.
Which is probably why. Maybe that's why he's okay.
I
with
do
it, don't
wonder
know.
who they'd put in that Red Bull though, because Liam Lawson hasn't been having great.
They have to promote one of them.
Yeah, they do.
And then
I think
they'll-
it'll be Yuki Tsunoda.
Do you think? Because
Yeah, I think he's been sat in that seat long enough.
they seem to be hesitant to promote him though. That's the issue.
Or they'll just look at testing, see who tests better.
I think they'll do Lawson. I think they
okay.
give Lawson a shot, and then they'll get a rookie in the
RB.
RB. Yeah.
Colapinto.
Well, apparently he's out now.
Oh,
Yeah. After the last couple of races where he hasn't had the best performances, they've lost interest.
right.
Apparently, that's
Wow.
the narrative online.
It'll be good to get another rookie in, to be fair.
But yeah, I don't know. Colapinto will be good. He's shown good pace, good skill. He's shown what he can do. Doesn't mean these weekends should reflect badly on him.
Yeah.
Because the Williams is the Williams. So.
Yeah, very true. But my second memorable moment from the sprint race, obviously, the main thing, Lando Norris giving up the win to his teammate.
Yeah,
Oscar
that was
Piastri.
a surprise because
Yeah.
there was some radio chatter, but they didn't show it on the broadcast.
No.
So it was just like, what?
I know, but it was actually Lando. Like they told him
Not to do it,
Yeah,
yeah.
not to do it and stick in position. But I think obviously because Oscar it was basically Brazil, but the other way around. Like Lando led the whole race.
Yeah.
And then at the end, obviously gave it to Oscar, which in Brazil, Oscar proved that he could win that race and obviously gave it up for Lando.
Yeah.
So it was just Lando
Obviously
repaying him.
payback, yeah.
And I think obviously the team said whole positions were happy because I think between first and fourth in the sprint race, there was only like 40.4 of a second.
Like 4 tenths.
4 tenths, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, so obviously there wasn't much. That was like the tightest sprint race ever.
I think it's probably more than 4 tenths, right? Between the top 4.
No, they said that.
Top 3, maybe.
Top 4 was 4 tenths, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, he still managed to do it and executed it very well. But I think it's kind of a good thing for Lando to prove that he can take team orders, is a good teammate, because that will benefit him in the future.
But does a dead rubber win when there's no Drivers' Championship on the line, does it hold the same weight as moving over for your teammate so he has a better chance in the championship? Because one means more than the other.
It definitely doesn't hold the same weight, but Lando gave Oscar back that win that he deserved in Brazil.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess
So,
the statistics will even out in the end. Yeah. George Russell wasn't too happy with it, but there's nothing really for him to complain about.
No.
Team orders have been a thing. Yeah, I think they tried banning team orders at one point in F1 for a period of time, but they've always been.
But I feel like that's like the point of having a team and a teammate. I feel like it actually improves the way, like it improves different scenarios in the sport and how, like, it just makes it more interesting.
But in this instance, like, you can be frustrated, but.
I mean, if it was Lewis and George in P1 and P2, they would have done the exact same thing. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's always got a problem when it's not you, but, Yeah,
he'll get over it.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be happy with his P3 in the sprint.
I mean, probably the only one of the only other things that was worth watching in the sprint was George constantly putting pressure on Piastri and Lando backing up to give DRS. And some of Piastri's moves were late.
They were, but I feel like they were on the edge, but he kind of got away with it.
I think the first one was over the limit. The second one, they moved at the same time. So, yes, it was late, but not his fault, really.
Yeah.
So, fine.
Good defence.
But, yeah, they let it go. Fine with me.
Yeah.
Hard racing. I think, they were fine with it in the end. I thought George might have some words, but it seemed all right.
Yeah, just racing at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keeps it more exciting.
And then Sainz just sitting there in P4. Got close, but not really that close. Yeah.
Good for McLaren in the Drivers' Championship.
Yes. What did they get? About 15?
8 plus 7, 15.
Yeah, so they got probably like a solid 8 points over Ferrari there. Which might prove to be the difference.
It might do. They're quite close, so all gone to Abu Dhabi.
But the sprint race was cleaner than the main race.
It was indeed.
So, should we move on to the main race?
Okay.
So, qualifying happened, and a very strange penalty got given, where on the George Russell and Max Verstappen's warm-up laps for their final lap in Q3, Max Verstappen slowed down dramatically on the racing line, which hindered George's, preparation. But they were both on a warm-up lap. It wasn't an actual lap, so everyone thought it was going to be fine.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It doesn't affect your lap time. Maybe it turned out it might have if his preparation was affected, but who knows? I turned on the race the next day. I was like, why is George Russell in front? Because there wasn't a lot of noise about it either. But yeah, it seems what had occurred was that they'd been summoned to the stewards. George Russell had argued that Max hindered his preparation. And they gave him a one-place grid penalty, which I've never seen before.
I know. It kind of seems a bit.
Apparently, it was meant to be a 3-place, but they took the circumstances into account and gave him a 1-place.
Yeah, well, Max said that he was slowing down for other drivers who were on their fast laps. So he was actually slowing down and trying to get out of the way for that. So maybe, I don't know why he was on the racing line at that point, but that's why he was going so slow. But they actually did look at his delta time, and he was going less than he should be on an out lap.
So that's what the penalty was for, going under the delta.
And George apparently was going faster to prepare for his fast lap. But
and maintain being in the delta
times. Yeah, but it's kind of unheard of to be penalised for impeding
on warm-up.
Yeah, on a warm-up lap.
Yeah, well, it seemed like it was the delta thing in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Max had some very... It's been a long time since I've seen someone talk that strongly about another driver.
I know.
Like, properly called George Russell out, saying that, he's so different behind the scenes. I've never seen anyone try and screw over a driver that hard. And
Yeah.
he's so different in front of camera to behind the track, basically calling him two-faced.
Yeah.
To media.
Yeah.
Which I think is inappropriate.
Definitely. I just like, it doesn't sit right. Obviously, I don't know if this is just because of how I feel about people in general, but I just don't like the calling out people personally. Like, I think fair enough, call people out for their driving and maybe say he didn't I don't know. I just don't like, when it gets a bit too personal, especially to the press when there's obviously a lot of negativity out there already.
Yeah.
I think it's just the only thing that can achieve is just fueling hatreds, like hate on the internet.
And that's all it will do.
Yeah,
like
hate
George
talk.
Russell will just get loads of hate now.
Exactly.
And while, he might be rightly aggrieved in this situation, for him to say, like, oh, he's so different on and off camera, surely that's... A lot of people will be. People will have a media trained. They'll want to come across in the best way in front of the world's TV and present their best self.
And also the teams would want that as well. The teams don't want you, like, I don't know.
And then they're gonna let that facade that surely everyone has slip a bit off track when there's no one watching. You kind of let your personality out a bit, stuff that might not be appropriate for your TV image, and rightly or wrongly, that's just how it is. Yeah,
definitely. I also think it's a little bit hypocritical, seeing as Max radioed his engineer to ask if Lando had lifted on the yellow flag.
It's a bit different because they will do that.
I know, but it's kind of like like he was fishing for Lando to get a penalty and was like asking back
but they all do that during the race.
Yeah, I know.
Like, they all call out track limits and that. It's not the same.
No, it's similar.
It's not the same.
It is similar.
It's not the same as him like appealing to the stewards.
I guess not.
Like in person.
Yeah, I don't get me. I actually think that it is unfair. Like, I don't think George should have done it, but I don't agree with Max's approach to speaking to the media.
No, and even if he is of the opinion that you shouldn't be the same or you shouldn't be two-faced as he alludes to, it doesn't mean you also have to be an arsehole on and off camera either. Like, you can hold it back on camera so that you're not just being like rude all the time.
Yeah.
It's like the whole swearing thing again. It's like, it's not that hard not to swear on TV. I know I think you can swear on Dutch TV, but you can't on British TV.
Yeah.
That's just the rules. If you can't control yourself, then what does that say about you, really? Yeah. But so I think they're both in the wrong there, really.
Yeah.
If George probably overstepped the line.
Yeah, agreed.
And
I would love to know what went on in that steward's room, though.
Yeah, he's been very overly political here.
Yeah.
And so Max is probably rightly aggrieved, but I think Max needs to just tone it down a bit with what he says on camera.
Agreed.
While it might be funny sometimes, it's a bit much sometimes.
Yeah.
And just the last thing on this point is, so Ted said on his notebook that on the drivers' parade, Verstappen confronted Russell.
Yeah.
And said things to the meaning of like, oh, you and your FIA buddies. Which is like that's a big accusation.
That was it's on Drive to Survive.
Drive to Survive caught it on there.
It will be very interesting to witness that on Drive to Survive. I actually might, when that comes out, I might just skip to that bit. I want to see. I really desperately want to see what was actually said and what happened.
Yeah. But just staring the conspiracy theories as well. Like,
I know.
You can't be saying that.
Especially because he's the head of the GDPA or what's the
something like that. The Drivers Association.
Yeah, the Drivers Association. I don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously, George will have to have some kind of relationship with the FIA. Well, they all do, but George will have to have that.
He'll be a spokesperson.
Yeah, that communication with the FIA. But
but he's often going against them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just drama, drama.
Well, should we move away from the drama and move towards the race?
Well, yeah, kind of in a way it links, because George started in P1.
Yeah.
Max started P2, but by the first corner, Max was out there P1. Lando was in P2 and George was in P3.
Yeah. George, mixture of a bad start and kind of bad positioning got him kind of screwed. Allowed Lando to sneak it in on
Yeah.
the inside. Lando almost took the lead, actually.
He did, yeah.
But
But he conceded to Max.
He did.
I think obviously when Max gets angry, there's no stopping him.
no.
It fuels him even more.
Well, there was one part where Lando Norris almost overtook Max, and I saw them coming up to the corner. Like a lot of other drivers, he would have got, and I was like, Max isn't letting it by here. You do not get past Max Verstappen into this corner,
Yeah.
wheel to wheel like that. And he's not letting you past here.
And he didn't.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Like, he just puts his car in exactly the right place.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously George lost the lead straight away. So it kind of seems a bit.
Safety car on the first lap.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a 3-car crash.
Yeah, Ocon got sandwiched.
Ocon got sandwiched by. Who was it?
Hulkenberg
Yes.
and Colapinto.
Colapinto. Well, I actually think it was more like Hulkenberg crashed into Ocon, who crashed into Colapinto. So Colapinto was a really like innocent party in this.
Yeah, but he came steaming around the outside at the last second.
Yeah.
Which is just,
But I heard a lot of drivers said they didn't have a lot of grip.
yeah.
So they just lost
contrast
it.
to last year's Qatar Grand Prix.
Yeah.
It was too hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
They couldn't warm the tyres up.
Good thing it
enough.
wasn't too hot because apparently Charles's drink bottle was broken. So good thing it was a cooler race. Yeah. So obviously
Safety car.
safety car. Ocon was out.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done
now.
He's done.
Not racing next
Yeah.
week.
Well, I originally heard that Alpine dropped him and just took him out. But I actually then heard that it was because there was a mutual agreement so he could start preparations with Haas. So I think obviously Ocon has made that decision. And also it's not been a great season for him and Alpine.
No, but he's been with the team for like what, 4 or 5 years
He's
now?
the longest serving driver in that team.
In Renault.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's really strange, like when they do that, when they've got like these like legacy drivers, I guess, for the team,
And the
then
send-off is crashing out on turn 1
Yeah.
on the penultimate race.
yeah, and not even in the last race, not even like a big kind of
He
send off.
doesn't get to do donuts under the fireworks in Abu Dhabi.
No,
No. Just like, see you later.
yeah.
Enjoy Haas.
it's the same with Daniel Ricciardo.
Well,
like it was
yeah,
just
it's-
like
You got
it's
dropped
like
mid-season, but
yeah, but it's like a silent thing, and there's just a press release, and that's it, and then and then they just move on.
Very odd.
But yeah, that was his last 100 meters with Alpine.
Yeah. And then what happened next? Let me think.
See, safety car.
Yeah, safety car.
I don't think too much until Alex's mirror came off.
God, this is where the I guess controversy starts. Alex Albon, obviously that Williams is pieced together in parts anyway.
Yeah.
It's such a joke.
The masking
that
tape came off.
It had to be the Williams that lost a part. It's duct taped together.
Yeah. Oops. Lost another one
dear.
on the straight.
And then they could have just had a virtual safety car just to slow the cars down a bit,
Yeah.
run out, grabbed it, Bob's your uncle, you know?
It was
Easy.
it was a talking point for like 7 laps. Oh, who like still
And
on the track?
They were just like,
Still
someone
no
needs to
safety
go
car?
get it. Someone's going to hit it, and then
Yeah.
it's going to cause a safety car. And then it just stayed there. Mm-hmm. And then Valtteri Bottas getting out the way of, was it Charles Leclerc? It was someone who was lapping him. Didn't see it and just smashes to pieces.
Why? How would you really see it? Like
and
it's just
Yeah, the next thing you know, Carlos Sainz has a puncture. Oh, Lewis Hamilton has a puncture. And it's not as if, like, these are 2 drivers at the back that, it's a shame they got a puncture.
Yeah.
But this is like two drivers in the points just getting punches because the FIA couldn't pull their finger out and
Yeah.
just do something, make a decision.
yeah. It would have been a VSC for 1 lap, probably.
Yeah, less than a lap.
Instead, it was a
Less than
safety
that.
car. Yeah, less than that.
A
Yeah.
VSC for the time it takes to slow the drivers down.
Yeah.
Do, like, double yellows.
Get the gap in the cars.
Yeah.
To run out,
Run
get
out
it, and
and
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, to be honest. Why are they making these decisions or lack of?
Well, that snowballed everything else.
Yeah.
Because it caused confusion with Lando Norris, and I mean it's his fault 'cause he's the only driver that actually didn't lift
Yeah.
in the yellow flags on the straight. But God, and then he got a. I haven't seen a stop and go penalty. I can't even remember.
I actually have never seen one before.
But what like that equates like 35-second penalty, which is just ruins his race completely. Especially after a safety car.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that if you get a stop and go penalty, you have to take it within 3 laps.
Well, yeah, because it's not one you just add to your time.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can't have a pit stop with it. You have to just like stop in the pits and go again.
Apparently, it's the second harshest penalty after disqualification.
Yeah, so basically the harshest penalty.
Yeah.
In race penalty.
Pretty much, yeah. Which is such a shame because he was kind of fighting Max for the win. It could have given more some kind of on-track racing.
Yeah, well, at least he could have, added 10 seconds of time and finished 3rd or 4th.
Yeah. It's a shame, really, but obviously the rule book's a rule book, isn't it?
Yeah, and they say that, like, they don't look at circumstances, and I disagree why they don't, because if something like that by the book is a stop and go penalty, and they kind of say, oh yeah, but what if there's a driver on the side of the track? There wasn't in this case. There was not. It was a mirror on the track.
Yeah.
So the common sense has to be used.
There should be some kind of like diagram where it's like, was there a yellow flag? Yes. Was there anyone on the track? No.
Yeah.
Therefore, you get a 10-second penalty.
Yeah, give him a 10-second penalty.
Yeah, not stop and go. Was there anything dangerous, like a driver or like a person on the track? Yes. Then you get a stop and go.
Yeah.
It could be like that.
It just felt silly.
It's also the lack of consistency in the season. There's certain situations like Carlos Sainz last race, going into the pits and then flying back out of the pits over the bulky line. Literally gets nothing for that. Obviously, very different situations, but also why is it so inconsistent with when you're actually like being so harsh and when you're not giving you're being so lenient? I don't know. I just don't really like the inconsistency this season.
Well, they also just fired a race director for being inconsistent.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to fix that.
It's actually been worse since they've done that.
And so I have a theory, and it's a bit of a conspiracy, but it does make sense. This obviously stops Lando getting a lot of points ahead of Ferrari, and McLaren getting a lot of points ahead of Ferrari. Abu Dhabi have spent a lot of money to have the last race of the season, and for it to be competitive is in theirs and F1's best interests in terms of money.
Yeah.
It's not unreasonable to think that even subconsciously they're thinking about the race next weekend.
Yeah, okay.
It's just too convenient for something like this to happen to a McLaren of all cars who are having a close fight with Ferrari for second in the championship.
Yeah.
It's the biggest battle going on, and like the best narrative that F1 currently have for the final race of the season.
But then they couldn't have predicted Lando to not lift during that yellow flag.
No, but then it's sort of taking the opportunity to give him a really harsh penalty, and it just it's confusing as to why the penalty was so harsh when we haven't seen the stop and go in so long.
I know.
Yeah, maybe we have maybe some people have to correct us in the comments.
I haven't personally seen one.
I saw some people say that is it Mazepin or Sargent had a stop and go at some point a couple of years ago. I can't remember.
I feel like that probably wasn't shown as much because it wasn't such like a prominent
maybe
position in the race lost, because obviously Lando went from P2 to last at that point.
Yes.
So yeah.
But yeah, anyway, the other puncture, Lewis Hamilton, he had to pit for new tyres, and then he got caught speeding in the pit lane.
Oh yeah, because a safety car went through the pit lane while they cleared up the straight. I think Lando actually called him out on that. Lando was like, I think Lewis has gone too quickly, brake tested me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And so what penalty did he get? He got a drive-through.
Yeah, drive-through.
I haven't seen a drive-through in ages either.
No.
Like, what happened to 5 and 10 second penalties?
I know. What? Two penalties that we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, I mean, a drive-through is still like a 15-second penalty.
Yeah. It's that. Do you know what I think they're doing right? They obviously are like, all right, okay, so Hamilton was speeding in the pit lane. Let's get the hat out. Shut our eyes.
Yeah.
What should we give him? Oh, yeah, 10-second drive-through penalty. Oh, Lando Norris Went through a yellow flag without lifting. What should we give him? Okay, 10 seconds.
Yeah, we're back in like 2010 or something.
Yeah.
When these penalties were gone.
Obviously, there's a rule book. Follow the rule book. But be consistent.
Yeah, be consistent.
Please be consistent.
Yeah, well, speaking of Hamilton, he had a pretty abysmal race in the end.
Yeah, he was,
Started behind Perez, who Perez himself was a 2.5 lap slower than Verstappen, which is just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But so he was stuck at that pace. Couldn't get on with the car, had the penalty, wanted to retire.
I know.
And they were like, well, if you come in, you're going to have a penalty next race.
Yeah, because he was like, please retire me. And they were like, no. And then he was like, I'm going to turn the car off. And they were like, well, if you want a penalty next race, then go for it.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't do that. Yeah, it's quite sad to see how like downbeat he's been about it, especially because Mercedes got 1-2 recently as well. But yeah, I think unfortunately he's looking forward to ending this season and moving teams.
Yeah, I hope he has a good race next race.
Yeah, me too.
On a more positive note, though, a couple drivers we need to give a good mention.
Good mention. Yeah.
Give props to Charles Leclerc, circumstantially, but he came P2.
He did, which was not expected from Ferrari this weekend.
Good news for Ferrari.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, good news for them in the championship. They've closed the gap to like 20 something points.
Yeah.
So it's possible. It's going to be a little bit difficult. Well, it depends obviously what McLaren do, but
yeah, you'd have to have a freak weekend for the Ferrari to win.
They're still in it.
Leclerc could beat Norris.
Yeah.
After all that.
Yeah. There's only 8 points between Lando and Charles.
Yeah, if Norris loses by 1 point, he'd be kicking himself and giving that win away.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that's true. Wow.
And more props again to Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, he's been doing really well this season. P5.
Well, the end of the season.
And sorry, yeah, that's what I meant. I meant the last few races.
Yeah.
He's been doing really well. P5.
Puts them ahead of RB, right? In the championship. Puts them
Ahead of Haas, I think.
Is it Haas?
Maybe. I know Haas lost.
They jumped to place anyway.
I know Haas lost to place.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I think it's Haas.
Yeah. I hope this continues next season as well.
Yeah, fair
Obviously,
play.
he's staying with Alpine, so hopefully they continue.
One more.
One more. I know. Zhou
Guanyu.
Guanyu. Well done. Sauber's finally got not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 points.
4 points.
From Zhou. Obviously, south of Valtteri Bottas, he got hit by Lawson at the beginning. And he said he felt...
I thought that was after the safety car. It was after the safety
possibly,
car, yeah, it was.
At some point.
So it
wasn't first
still.
lap, but yeah, it was, around the beginning. So he felt like he kind of lost some places there. And because he finished 11th, obviously Lando finished 10th. He felt like he could have been in the points if he hadn't had that kind of hit at the beginning. So yeah, they could have got double points, Sauber. But yeah, it's good to see that they are not going to finish the season on 0 points.
But also... saying that, if there wasn't a safety car, if the mirror thing didn't happen, then Norris and Hamilton would be in the top 10, above Zhou.
Zhou finished 8th.
Yeah, but Norris wouldn't have got a penalty, and Hamilton wouldn't have got a puncture.
Yeah, but Zhou still would have got points probably.
Maybe 1.
Yeah, still a point.
Yeah, I'm
still
saying,
one
but
to take
Bottas
home.
wouldn't have, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, true. Okay, so obviously circumstances,
So
right?
yeah, unfortunately, it's a bad stat to have, but he's the only driver this season without points, I think.
And yeah,
I think.
apart from Logan Sargent, but we don't talk about him anymore.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great from him. I'm trying to think if there's any other honourable mentions.
Well, I think it's probably a good time to go to reviewing predictions.
I think so.
Okay. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. So it was a sprint race. So what did you have for the sprint?
For the sprint, I had Lando Norris in P3, Carlos Sainz in P2, and Oscar Piastri to win the sprint.
And he did, yeah.
He did. Thanks, Lando Norris, for gifting me that win on there, even though I said he would come P3.
God damn it. Well, and I had... Oh, wait. Sprint. I had Piastri 3rd Verstappen second and Sainz first. So just
No.
didn't happen, did
No
it?
chance. No chance Max being up there in the sprint. He was like PA or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Qualifying, I said Lando Norris P3, Max Verstappen P2, Lewis Hamilton pole position.
Technically, Max Verstappen was P2.
Yeah, I'll take that. And technically, Lando Norris was P3. Actually, no. Actually, he was P3.
He was, yeah.
There's no technicality about it. He was P3. So I got 2 out of 3 there in technicalities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did badly. I got
dear.
Leclerc, Sainz, Norris. No,
Oh
didn't
dear.
happen,
Ferrari
did it?
weren't as good this weekend as you expected, I think.
No, I thought they'd be good, but McLaren.
I also did, actually. I thought they would be
McLaren
good.
weren't as good as you expected. I
No.
thought they'd run away with it.
Well, they ran
But
away
were
with
in
the sprint.
but
Yeah.
it's an interesting one.
And then the race, I had put Max Verstappen in P3, Charles Leclerc P2, and Lando Norris P1. So I got Charles right.
Yeah, that's a pretty good set of predictions.
I think
though.
so as well. Like, obviously, only a couple right, but I
Considering
think,
what happened.
yeah, well done me.
I put Lando Norris P3, Charles Leclerc P2.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh,
And Carlos Sainz P1.
okay. Not bad.
1 out of 3 is not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
Bold predictions.
Indeed.
My first bold prediction was Hulkenberg will qualify in the top 5. No.
Didn't happen, did it?
No, it didn't. What was yours, please?
My first one. Ooh, excuse me. My first one. There'll be a safety car in the sprint. There was not.
No.
Oh well.
Was that?
I
No.
don't think so, no. The sprint was pretty clean.
Yeah. My second one was George Russell will have a bad race. Which I was like, well, he did start on pole and went down to P4 and lost 2 places in the beginning.
But I wouldn't say that's a bad race.
No, I think it's actually a relatively good race considering how the car was performing.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Not a great prediction.
My second one. Norris won't do well due to a weird penalty.
No way.
Nah.
Okay.
But Norris won't do well due to a lack of motivation to win. So that's not why he didn't do well.
No.
But he didn't.
I actually thought,
well.
you actually convinced me that you said that. And I was like, no. How on earth have you predicted that?
Imagine.
Okay. My third one was, really proud of this actually. Sauber will score a point.
They scored more than 8 points.
Yeah, but they scored at
Yeah, it
least
counts.
8 points. It
Counts.
does count.
Yeah, well done, well done. My third one, I'm really proud of this actually.
Yeah.
5 DNFs.
Well done.
Do you know how many DNFs there were?
5.
5.
Crazy.
Boom.
No more, no less.
It had to be right
5.
eventually.
Yeah. Same with the Sauber. I feel like I should have said that every week.
Yeah. Be right, just be wrong 23 times.
Yeah, exactly. Well, clock's right twice a day.
And finally, driver of the day.
My driver of the day, I said, would be Lando Norris. But my driver of the day this time around, I'm going to give it to, I think you're going to also give it to him, Pierre Gasly.
Pierre Gasly.
Pierre Gasly.
Okay. I put Carlos Sainz as my driver of the day because I am winning. But I'd be inclined to give it to Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, fair. Fair.
For kind of, yeah. He did really well after the second safety car to get George Russell.
Yeah.
And obviously got a bit lucky to get to P2, but he still managed to get his car up into P2 when it was
Yeah.
not a P2 car this weekend.
Yeah,
So fair play to him.
definitely.
And you know what? Honourable driver of the day to Joe.
Joe, yeah. Of
He
course.
won it on
Of course.
the official one.
Yeah. He definitely did. Yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 points, going from 0 to 4. Amazing.
Indeed. Yeah. He's got as many points as Sergio Perez the last 4 races.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Indeed.
I saw that since 2022, Max has got more championships than Sergio Perez has wins.
Oh dear. Yeah, and with that, on that bombshell, it's time to end.
Let's call it a day.
So yeah, this has been a long one.
It's been a drama-filled one.
It has.
I think the race was quite messy. I think that's a good word to use.
Yeah, it'd be great to know everyone else's opinions and thoughts. Obviously, we've given ours. They're only opinions. Feel free to disagree, but let's have a nice conversation about it.
Yeah, definitely.
None of this F1 Twitter stuff and just calling people names.
Let's have some. Yeah, I'm happy to hear other people's opinions. Like some people give very good points, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you disagree with us or if you agree with us, feel free to leave a comment. Let us know.
Yeah.
If you've got anything else that we've missed out, let us know.
Yeah, and like, subscribe, all the good stuff. But one more race. Let's hope it's a banger.
Yeah.
Until then, see you in Abu Dhabi.
Bye.